We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby.
Hey Chicago, and welcome back to episode 612, season 17 of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka Miss Hip Hop. And today we will be talking about the actor Eric Dane and his legacy he left behind. Yo, I didn't know who Eric Dane was until he passed on February 19th, 2026, and I realized that he was my childhood crush growing up watching different shows like 90210 and Charmed. I mean, he's been acting since the 90s. Eric Dane passed away after his 10-month-long battle with ALS. He made some profound statements in his final interview to Netflix, which was posted after his death. Eric did multiple TV roles in the 90s to the 2000s, which included his reoccurring role as Jason Dean in Charmed, but everyone remembers him from Grey's Anatomy as the hot, steamy surgeon. He was only supposed to appear on the show once, but everyone liked his role so much and fell in love with him, he kept coming back. I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy like that, but I hear it's an amazing show with awesome writing. Shout out to the creator and writer Shonda Rhimes of the show Grey's Anatomy. Eric also made appearances as on films such as Marley and Me, Valentine's Day, and Burlesque, and this has increased his fan base, and the actor has since played Captain Tom Chandler in The Last Ship and has starred as Cal Jacobs in Euphoria. I believe one of the last roles I saw Eric playing in was Bad Boys, Ride or Die, in 2024. He played the main antagonist, James McGrath. He did an amazing job, y'all. Even in 2024, sitting in the movie theater, he had my attention captured, and yet I never knew who he was. Eric Dane was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, in 2025. He was only 53 years young, although he continued to work. Eric even starred as a firefighter with ALS in the 2025 Brilliant Minds episode to raise awareness. Eric became a dedicated advocate, joining the board of Target ALS, raising over $500,000. Eric shared how grateful he was to have his family by his side to navigate him to his passing. Eric's wife, Rebecca Gayhart, and their two children, Billy Patrice, 15, and Georgia Geraldine, 13. His last famous words to his daughters were not only for them, but for all of us. I tell you, when I heard him speak on February 20th, I just saw a clip of him, and his words were mighty slurred, but they stood strong. You know, I sat down, something told me just to sit down and really listen to what this man had to say. Like I said, I didn't know who he was when he was giving his last words, but they touched me deeply, and we'll definitely get into that, okay? But for all of you who don't know what ALS is, aka Lou Gehrig's disease, it's a rare degenerative disease that causes progressive paralysis of the muscles. Patients of ALS experience twitching or weakness in the limb, often followed by slurred speech, because the disease affects the nerve cells of the brain and spine that controls the muscle movement. Patients slowly lose their ability to speak, eat, walk, and breathe independently. There is no cure for ALS, and people diagnosed usually have about 3 to 5 years. However, some patients can live decades. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for Eric. He left us with his legacy in just 10 months. Eric's last words to his daughters were this: "These words are for you. I tried, I stumbled sometimes, but I tried. Overall, we had a blast, didn't we? Remember all the time we spent at the beach? The two of you and Mom in Santa Monica, Hawaii, Mexico. I see you two playing in the water for hours. My water babies." He shared advice for them too. I hope you didn't listen to me. First, live now, right now, in the present. It's hard, but I've learned to do that for years. I would wander off mentally, wallowing in worry and self-pity, shame and doubt. I second guess myself, thinking I should have done this. No more out of pure survival. I am forced to stay in the present. He continued, the past is full of regrets and the future remains unknown. So the only way to move forward is to live in the present and treasure it. Second, fall in love. Not necessarily with a person, although I do recommend that, but fall in love with something. Find your passion, your joy. Find the thing that makes you want to get up in the morning. Third, choose your friends wisely. Find your people and let them find you. Give yourselves to them. The best of them will give back to you. No judgment, no conditions, no questions asked. Just show up. Love your friends with everything you have. Hang on to them. They will entertain you, guide you, support you, and some will save you. Eric's friends launched a GoFundMe to help support his 2 daughters in the wake of his death. I sure wish I could donate to his family. I definitely, do that because it's toward a great cause for their young children. Those young ladies can grow up doing what they love and follow behind the legacy of their father, Eric Dane. When he gave that speech to his daughters, I felt like he really was talking to all of us living in this lifetime. I don't know much about the afterlife, but I feel like he didn't walk toward the light, which is artificial. That light will bring you back to visions of things you could have and should have done and build up regret and remorse, making you think that you have to go back into the light to come back here again and do it all over, versus going to a different dimension. And I don't know what happens after that. I don't know. I just know not to walk into that light, because I'm not regretful of what I did or did not do, and I'm going to live in the present moment. Thank you, Eric Dane, for stating that. Thank you for talking to all of us. Thank you so much for your legacy. And like I said, I can't believe I didn't know who this man really was until yesterday, February 20th, and he passed on February 19th. It's funny how your legacy sticks with people and they don't know you until after your passing. Sometimes that happens, And as Michael Jackson once used to say, introduce yourself in every room that you walk in, and everybody knew who Michael Jackson was. So yeah, I don't know why I said Michael Jackson's name in regards to Eric Dane, but I'm gonna miss him, miss him seeing on my TV screen. And I'm so happy that I found this message that he left to his daughters, because I felt like he was talking directly to me. I love each and every one of you out there. Respect life and respect yourself. I love you, Chicago. Stay safe and dangerous. Peace.